Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Mike, Fieldcraft Survival. I've never been a fan of SIG. I've always used Glock. Let me tell you about the story. Glock has always been a part of my life because Glock was always what I was issued in the military. Glock 19 specifically, all the way up into my contracting days with the Glock 17. So I've always stood by it because I know it works well. Because as an 18 Bravo or Special Forces weapons guy on a team, I usually fix guns, and I never had to fix Glocks. Most of the guns that I fixed were Berettas. The locking block on the Berettas typically broke. The first time that I was introduced to SIG was a P320, a full-size 45. That gun was given to me by my detachment as a going-away gift 15, 20 years ago. I've had that gun on my nightstand and shot it probably about 10 times. It's a big, clunky thing that I could beat bad guys with when I run out of ammo, but not particularly a fan because, one, when I worked with Navy SEALs and Special Operations, they had P226s and chambered in 9mm, and I thought they were too clunky. But for the first time ever, I held a P320X at a training course that I was just in, and I liked the way it felt. It didn't have a decocker. It felt compact. And it gave me a lot of purchase with my support hand to be able to manage muzzle flip and recoil. And so I picked one up here today so I could test it and see if it even comes close to Glock. So here we go. All right, guys, straight out of the box, let's evaluate accuracy. Super important that a pistol is accurate. My evaluation for this particular one is on a VTAC target, a 6-inch bullseye target. And I want to get a median. I want to shoot several iterations, and I'm going to do 3 10-round strings, slow aim fire. I'm pretty consistent, so you'll see the group. We'll evaluate where we're at straight out of the box. I did add a TLR7 Streamlight. The reason I have that on there is when I teach no light, low light, I do so with a light on the gun as well as a handheld in my hand. But I want to have that true to form because I want to evaluate the accuracy, how I'm going to carry it, and you should do the same. What I like about this X so far, it has a flat trigger. I like the grip angle. I like the fixed sights. I like the fact that they're night sights as well. I do love the fact that this is a 17-round magazine. A Glock 19, which I would compare this or correlate it to, is 15 rounds. This particular one is 17 rounds plus 1 in the chamber. I'm going to shoot 3 bullseye targets, 10 rounds, slow aim fire per, and then we're going to take the median or the average. So here we go. Cold, no warm-ups. All right, let's go evaluate it. So 10 rounds, I felt clean. A couple shots I pulled off to the right a little bit, but fairly clean. Let's look at the group. So 15 yards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 rounds completely, grouped relatively well, offset to the right. That's common for me. I'm a right-handed, left-eye dominant shooter. Typically, I have to notch the sights out of the box for a gun, but this shows consistency in the same place. Windage, not a lot of left and right deviation, a little up and down. That's me anticipating a little bit the trigger because it's flat. I'm getting used to it. I'll tighten this up as we go, but I want to see if I can continue to group
10 rounds on this, 10 rounds on this. I'm not gonna make the adjustment though when I'm evaluating this, meaning I'm not gonna compensate for this group. I actually like to shoot it without looking at any of the targets, because right now, consciously I know I'm offset to the right, so I might deviate by driving it to the left, but I wanna see what the accuracy does out of the box so I could adjust the gun. Remember, there is zeroing of these guns that's required. Out of the factory, they come spec'd and notched for front sights and rear sights. You might have to deviate or drift the sights left and right, or even pitch the elevation. This one doesn't have a means to pitch the elevation. There are versions of the SIG P320 that you can do that, but I will just have to notch the front sight left or right in order to change my point of impact versus via my point of aim. So let's go back to it. Let's go check it out again. I will tell you that the front sight aperture is almost as wide at 15 yards as a 6-inch bull. So I was able to, I didn't make any adjustments, but I felt cleaner because I'm getting used to the trigger. So let's check it out. So 1, 2, 10, right? So this is 10 rounds. I didn't adjust. The only thing that I did is got a cleaner front sight picture, and now I'm starting to feel the trigger. With reps, I should be able to tune this gun in. But this is straight out of the box, the second 10 round group. I'm not, well, let me just say it this way. I'm pretty excited about what I see so far. A Glock 19 at 15 yards out of the box with this. Man, I've never actually done that with a Glock 19 out of the box, but the Army guns that I've used, not the best guns for 25 meter bulls. Typically my average is usually about 85. Versus super accurate guns out of the box, 95 maybe. So I'll lose a 10-point spread. But to see that in a carry gun that's made for everyday carry, yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. All right, guys, we're getting ready for this last one. Let's see how this goes. I fell a little off on that one. I felt like I was pulling stuff to the right. I try to see hard front sight focus as I'm doing these drills because I don't want to cheat myself. So even looking over the gun a couple of times, I saw the paper notching out, and psychologically it just messes with you. That's why I like doing 25-yard bulls, because you can't really see the target and what's happening. And it forces you to look through your front sight, clear front sight, blurry target, and just trust your grouping. This is not a bad group, but this is inherent to my eye dominance issue, which isn't an issue at all. A lot of people think that cross-eye dominance is a problem. A lot of the top pro shooters in the world are actually cross-eye dominant. I typically take right-handed gun and push it across my left eye, and so I'm not tilting my head, which I'd recommend that nobody do. As I push it across, a out-of-the-box gun, typically I see my groups on the right side of my point of aim. That's okay. Guns need to be zeroed, including pistols. So when I go back and I notch the front sight, now I'm going to work on grouping this where it needs to be. But for me, grouping-wise, just the group assessment alone is a good indication of how the gun functions and how accurate it actually is. So far, so good. I have no problems with accuracy. In fact, I'm impressed. Typically, you'll see some good bullseye targets with Glock, but not great. This, for me, at 15 yards with this small of a bull, it looks good. I would consider this great. Not me. I'm just a consistent slow aim fire shooter, but this gun is doing very well so far. All right, guys, so the next thing that I'm gonna do is assess some split times. One thing I want you to understand about pistols, they're not all created equal. And what I mean by that is they all have a par time in their cycle of operation. if you're a USPSA shooter and you want to shoot faster, you typically don't look at yourself. A lot of times you look at the gun. You're like, hey, can I get a different connector, different spring sets, even different ammo in order to shoot faster? I measure the capability of the gun in one way is the split time, which is the time in between shots. But that measurement has to be consistent when comparing the accuracy, because I could do a double tap where the gun goes boom, and then as it's cycling up or muzzle flipping up, I break another shot. Well, that's not a good indication of a split time that's accurate, because I want the gun to go boom, settle, boom. So now I got to look at the group, but I also need to look at how fast can I shoot that group and still be accurate. What I'll do is I'll measure this split time in 5-shot increments by looking at the cadence and measuring the splits, but also comparing the accuracy. And it'll make a little bit more sense once we start shooting. All right, guys, so I got another VTAC target lined out. I'm gonna be at about 5 yards on this target. Pretty easy drill, just a cadence drill that we'll typically run at our gunfighter pistol course. I'm gonna shoot 5 rounds, and I'm gonna shoot it pretty fast and start analyzing my split times while looking at my accuracy and make sure I'm retaining it. If I start walking rounds all over the place because the muzzle flip, or I'm breaking rounds in the muzzle flip or cycle of operation of the gun, that doesn't give me a good indication of its capability. I want to retain accuracy and then look at my splits and see how fast I can run it clean, as opposed to just running the hell out of it and then having shots all over the place. So I have a random time set on my pro timer so I can do this drill by myself. I don't need AIs here on the range assessing a new gun. And then I'll shoot 5 rounds. I don't have to shoot it exactly on the pro timer because I'm measuring split times, not the first round out of the box. So here we go. .18, .18, .20. I could obviously pick that up. Holding accuracy, no problem. A center mass on the target. Let's see if we could accelerate. .16, .17, .19. A little faster, a little bit not as consistent as I want to, but a little bit faster. I'm going to ramp it up just a little bit more. That felt about right. It's about the cadence in which I could hold. .16, .16, .17. I'm pretty happy with that. That's not too bad. The fact that I could run .16 splits on this gun out of the box and retain accuracy as seen on the target, I'm impressed by. Look, a lot of these guns, depending on your capability, we tend to outrun these guns. If you just slow it down enough where you're not making mistakes in your cadence, where you're not going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because you're outrunning the trigger reset or mechanical reset, it can give you an indication of your capabilities on the flat range. 5 rounds, .16 splits, retaining accuracy. For this gun, a carry or compact, a self-defense everyday carry gun, not too bad. All right, guys, so the next thing that we're going to talk about is running the gun in its natural environment. This is going to potentially be my new everyday carry pistol. So I want to see how it performs and operates in shooting and moving from the draw, from bags, from the truck. And you say, well, it should operate the same as any other gun, but that's not true, because the hand placement, the grip angle, the sight placement, all that stuff matters on pistols. And if you're not comfortable with the pistol, it's a good indicator that you don't need to be in it. You have to get something that you can shoot comfortably. A great example of that is Glock. Look, I've shot Glock my entire military special operations career, but I will tell you, I run the CAGWorks slide catch. It's a slide catch that's via Glock. Some of you might know it as the slide release. I run the CAGWorks version because the CAGWorks version has an offset my big gorilla hands on a Glock 19 will push that slide catch and impede it from locking the slide to the rear. And that's a problem for me. But that's something that I had to work around based on the gun. Well, I can already tell you right now, I can get greedy with purchase or real estate on my hand, on the support hand specifically, on the gun. I couldn't do that with a Glock. I could do that with a 1911, and I damn well know that I could get away with it on this gun because of the size of the frame and height. So let's see how it runs. I'm not gonna lie, this thing's pretty exciting. I was really biased when I came into this in the first place because I'm a fan of Glock. I always have been a fan of Glock. I know Glock to be reliable, repeatable, consistent, not a lot of maintenance issues. The one thing that we can evaluate on this pistol is long-term reliability. You could throw it in the mud, you could drag it through the dirt, but that's not a real indication of how well it operates under stress. Under stress means putting rounds downrange through the barrel of this gun and seeing how it operates. Today, I put nearly 1,000 rounds through this gun and can tell you, having run many guns out of the box, this is the best performing pistol for an everyday carry consideration that I've ever shot. Meaning it's the perfect form and function, even a great price point that allows the normal person, the average person, to be able to afford one and defend their life really reliably out of the box. P320X carry. Sig, you guys just made a fan of me. Hey guys, if you're a fan of the Fieldcraft Survival channel, make sure you subscribe, tell your buddies. About 70% of the people who watch our videos aren't subscribed. We just appreciate if you subscribe so we can let you know when videos are coming out and offer you a little bit of incentive and subscribing to the channel. We appreciate all your feedback. Leave comments below and make sure you tell us what we're doing right and potentially what we're doing wrong, because we want to fix all the wrongs. Our entire objective at Fieldcraft Survival is to provide education and content to you, and you're the client. You tell us what you want to watch. You tell us what we need to fix. We're here for you guys. Until next time, stay alert, stay alive.